Feeling overwhelmed by life's constant demands? The audiobook, The Power of Less, Build a Life That Truly Matters, reveals a transformative approach to minimalism that will revolutionize your personal and professional life. Discover how to focus on what truly matters, find genuine joy, and achieve your goals with less stress and greater satisfaction. Don't let the noise of modern life drown out your purpose. Embrace the power of less and unlock the life you've always dreamed of living. Before we go on, I invite you to download the free bundle, which contains the ebook version of this book and an executive summary of all the chapters with the key takeaways. Studies show that engaging with content through multiple formats significantly enhances learning and retention. Click on the first link in the description to claim your free bundle now and maximize your learning potential. Now it's free, but it won't be for long, so make sure to grab it while you can. Chapter 1: Overcoming Noise. In the cacophony of modern life, a constant barrage of stimuli assaults our senses. From the moment we wake up to the chirping of smartphone notifications to the late-night scroll through endless social media feeds, we find ourselves immersed in a sea of noise. This noise isn't just auditory. It's a metaphor for the overwhelming influx of information, demands, and distractions that characterize our daily existence. As we navigate this landscape, we often find ourselves stretched thin, our attention fragmented, and our ability to engage meaningfully with life severely diminished. The noise of modern life manifests in myriad forms. It's the ping of an email notification during a family dinner, the pressure to keep up with the latest trends on social media, and the nagging feeling that we should be doing more, achieving more, and consuming more. It's the endless to-do lists that seem to grow longer no matter how hard we work, and the societal expectations that push us to constantly strive for an often unattainable ideal of success and happiness. This overwhelming nature of contemporary existence takes a toll on our well-being. Many of us find ourselves in a perpetual state of mental exhaustion, our minds racing from one task to the next, never fully present in any single moment. We feel the weight of constant connectivity, the pressure to respond immediately to every message, and the fear of missing out if we dare to disconnect. This state of affairs not only affects our mental health, but also impacts our productivity, creativity, and overall quality of life. The first step in addressing this issue is to recognize the sources of noise in our lives. Digital distractions play a significant role in this modern cacophony. Our smartphones, with their endless notifications and apps designed to capture our attention, have become both indispensable tools and significant sources of distraction. Social media platforms, while offering connection and information, often lead us down rabbit holes of comparison and mindless scrolling. Emails, once a revolutionary form of communication, now flood our inboxes, demanding constant attention and response. Beyond the digital realm, societal pressures and expectations contribute significantly to the noise in our lives. We're bombarded with messages about what we should own, how we should look, and what we should achieve to be considered successful. These external pressures often lead us to pursue goals that may not align with our true values or bring us genuine fulfillment. Another major source of noise is our tendency to overcommit and multitask. In an attempt to keep up with the pace of modern life, we often take on more than we can handle, spreading ourselves thin across numerous commitments and responsibilities. We pride ourselves on our ability to juggle multiple tasks simultaneously, not realizing that this constant switching of attention is actually reducing our effectiveness and increasing our stress levels. The impact of this constant noise on our well-being cannot be overstated. Mental fatigue and burnout have become all too common, with many people feeling constantly drained and overwhelmed. This state of mental exhaustion not only affects our mood and relationships, but also significantly impairs our ability to think creatively and solve problems effectively. Our productivity suffers as we struggle to focus on important tasks amidst a sea of distractions. Moreover, this constant state of noise and distraction robs us of the ability to engage deeply with life. We miss out on the richness of genuine human connection, the joy of being fully present in a moment, and the satisfaction of deep, focused work. Our relationships suffer as we struggle to give our full attention to those around us, and our personal growth is stunted as we lack the mental space for self-reflection and introspection. It's in this context that minimalism emerges as a powerful antidote to the noise of modern life. But minimalism, as we'll explore in this book, is not just about decluttering our physical spaces or living with less. It's a holistic approach to life that involves simplifying our mental landscapes, clarifying our priorities, and intentionally creating space for what truly matters. At its core, minimalism is about shifting our perspective from the belief that more is always better to the understanding that less can actually lead to more. More focus, more fulfillment, more freedom. It's about recognizing that by clearing away the excess, be it physical clutter, digital distractions, or unnecessary commitments, we create space for what truly enriches our lives. The journey to overcoming noise begins with awareness. We need to become conscious of the sources of noise in our lives and their impact on our well-being. This awareness is the first step towards meaningful change. It involves taking a step back from our daily routines and critically examining how we spend our time and energy. What are the activities, commitments, and habits that truly add value to our lives? And what are the ones that merely contribute to the noise? Once we've developed this awareness, we can begin implementing strategies to minimize distractions and reduce overwhelming stimuli. This might involve setting boundaries around our use of technology, learning to say no to commitments that don't align with our priorities, or creating designated times for focused work free from interruptions. These strategies are not about depriving ourselves, but about intentionally creating space for what matters most. The final crucial step in overcoming noise is establishing habits that prevent overcommitment and support a more intentional way of living. This involves developing routines that prioritize our well-being, learning to resist the urge to constantly do and achieve more, and cultivating practices that help us stay grounded and focused amidst the chaos of modern life. By taking these steps, we can begin to reclaim our attention and mental clarity. Over time, as we continue to practice these principles, we can expect to experience enhanced focus and mental clarity. The fog of constant distraction begins to lift, allowing us to think more clearly and engage more deeply with our tasks and relationships. Moreover, as we reduce the noise in our lives, we often find our stress and anxiety levels decreasing. The constant pressure to keep up with everything and everyone subsides, replaced by a sense of calm and control over our own lives. This reduction in stress not only improves our mental health, but can have significant positive impacts on our physical well-being as well. Perhaps most importantly, overcoming noise allows us to live more intentionally and purposefully. When we're no longer constantly reacting to external stimuli and pressures, we create space to reflect on what truly matters to us. We can align our actions with our values, set meaningful goals, and pursue them with focus and determination. The journey to overcoming noise is not always easy. It requires us to challenge ingrained habits, resist societal pressures, and sometimes make difficult choices about how we spend our time and energy. But the rewards of this journey are immense. By reducing the noise in our lives, we open ourselves up to a richer, more fulfilling existence. One where we're truly present for the moments that matter, where we have the mental space to pursue our passions and grow as individuals, and where we can build deeper, more meaningful connections with those around us. As we move forward in this book, we'll delve deeper into the various aspects of minimalism and how they can help us build a life that truly matters. We'll explore practical strategies for decluttering our physical and digital spaces, simplifying our schedules, nurturing meaningful relationships, and aligning our finances with our values. Each chapter will provide you with tools and insights to help you reduce the noise in your life and focus on what's truly essential. Remember, the goal is not to eliminate all stimuli or to live an austere life devoid of joy and excitement. Rather, it's about consciously choosing what we allow into our lives, creating space for what truly matters, and finding freedom in simplicity. It's about building a life that reflects our values and brings us genuine fulfillment rather than one dictated by external pressures and expectations. As we conclude this chapter, I invite you to take a moment to reflect on the sources of noise in your own life. What are the distractions, pressures, and commitments that leave you feeling overwhelmed and disconnected from what truly matters? This awareness is the first step on your journey towards a more intentional, fulfilling life. In the next chapter, we'll dive into the crucial process of defining what's truly essential in your life. We'll explore how understanding your core values can help you distinguish between what's truly important and what's merely noise. This foundational step will set the stage for all the practical strategies we'll discuss in the following chapters, guiding you towards a life of purpose, clarity, and genuine satisfaction. Are you ready to discover what truly matters to you and build a life around those essentials? Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to Grow to the Top and activate notifications to receive more self-improvement tips that will supercharge your growth. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. It really helps the channel grow. Thank you for your support. Chapter 2: Defining Essentials. In our journey towards a life of greater meaning and purpose, we often find ourselves at a crossroads. We're surrounded by countless options, opportunities, and demands, each vying for our attention and resources. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, unsure of which path to take or which choices truly align with our deepest desires and aspirations. This is where the art of defining essentials comes into play, a crucial skill that can transform the way we navigate our lives. But what exactly do we mean by essentials? At first glance, it might seem straightforward, the things we can't live without, perhaps. Yet, as we delve deeper, we'll discover that defining essentials is a nuanced and deeply personal process. It's not just about identifying basic needs, but about uncovering what truly brings us joy, fulfillment, and purpose. The importance of this process cannot be overstated. When we clearly understand what's essential in our lives, we gain a powerful tool for decision-making and prioritization. It's like having a compass that always points us towards our true north, guiding us through the complex terrain of life's choices and challenges. Think about the last time you felt truly fulfilled, a moment when you felt completely aligned with your purpose, when your actions resonated deeply with who you are. Chances are, in that moment, you were engaged with something essential to your being. Now imagine if you could create more of those moments, if you could shape your life around the things that truly matter to you. This is the promise of defining essentials. But how do we begin this process of discovery? It starts with a deep dive into understanding our personal values. These are the fundamental beliefs that drive our behavior and shape our perception of what's important in life. They're the underlying principles that guide our decisions, often operating beneath the surface of our conscious awareness. To uncover these values, we need to ask ourselves some probing questions. What truly matters to you? What are the principles you'd stand up for, even in the face of adversity? What activities or causes make you lose track of time because you're so engrossed in them? These questions can be challenging to answer, as they require us to look beyond the surface-level desires and societal expectations that often cloud our judgment. As we explore these questions, we might find that our actions don't always align with our professed values. This misalignment is a common source of dissatisfaction and internal conflict. For instance, we might say we value family time, but consistently prioritize work over spending evenings with loved ones. Recognizing these discrepancies is a crucial step in the process of defining essentials, as it allows us to make conscious choices to bring our actions into alignment with our true values. One of the key challenges in this process is differentiating between our genuine needs and our fleeting wants. In a consumer-driven society, we're constantly bombarded with messages that blur this line, convincing us that we need the latest gadget, the trendiest clothes, or the most luxurious experiences to be happy and fulfilled. But when we step back and examine these desires, we often find that they're superficial wants rather than essential needs. True essential needs go beyond mere survival. They encompass the elements that contribute to our emotional, psychological, and spiritual well-being. These might include meaningful relationships, personal growth, creative expression, or a sense of purpose. By identifying these core needs, we can focus our energy and resources on fulfilling them rather than chasing after temporary satisfactions that leave us feeling empty in the long run. To aid in this process of self-discovery, there are several exercises we can employ. One powerful tool is journaling. By regularly setting aside time to reflect on our experiences, emotions, and aspirations, we can begin to discern patterns and themes that point towards our core values and essential needs. Some helpful prompts might include: when do I feel most alive and energized? What would I regret not doing or becoming if my life ended tomorrow? Or what are the moments I'm most proud of in my life and why? Another effective technique is the 5 whys method. This involves asking why repeatedly to dig deeper into the motivations behind our desires and actions. For example, if you think you want a promotion at work, ask yourself why. If the answer is to earn more money, ask why that's important. If it's to feel more secure, ask why again. By the 5th why, you'll often uncover a core value or essential need driving your initial desire. As we gain clarity on our values and essentials, it can be helpful to articulate them in the form of a personal mission statement. This is a concise expression of your purpose and core principles, serving as a North Star to guide your decisions and actions. Creating a mission statement isn't about crafting a perfect, poetic sentence. It's about capturing the essence of what drives you and what you want your life to stand for. Your mission statement might evolve over time as you gain new insights and experiences, and that's perfectly fine. The goal is to have a clear, written reminder of your core values and aspirations that you can refer to when faced with difficult choices or when you feel yourself getting off track. Once we've identified our essentials, we often face the challenge of letting go of the superfluous, the activities, possessions, and commitments that don't align with our core values and needs. This process can be uncomfortable, as we may have developed attachments to these things over time. We might fear missing out or worry about disappointing others if we step away from certain obligations or pursuits. However, embracing change and uncertainty is a crucial part of living a life aligned with our essentials. It requires courage to let go of the familiar, even when it no longer serves us, and to make space for what truly matters. Remember, every no to something non-essential is a yes to something that is essential. To make this process more manageable, it can be helpful to start small. Begin by identifying one area of your life where you can make a change to better align with your values. It might be decluttering a physical space, cutting back on a time-consuming activity that doesn't bring you joy, or having a difficult conversation to set a boundary. As you experience the benefits of these small changes, you'll gain the confidence to tackle bigger areas of misalignment. Incorporating daily reflection practices can also help reinforce your commitment to living in alignment with your essentials. This might involve starting each day by reviewing your mission statement, or ending the day by journaling about moments when you felt most aligned with your values. These regular check-ins help keep your essentials at the forefront of your mind, guiding your choices and actions throughout your day. As you embark on this journey of defining and living by your essentials, it's important to be patient with yourself. This is a process of continuous growth and refinement. You may find that what you once considered essential no longer resonates with you, or that new priorities emerge as you evolve. This is natural and should be embraced as part of your ongoing self-discovery. The outcomes of this process can be truly transformative. At a basic level, you'll likely experience increased self-awareness. You'll have a clearer understanding of what drives you, what you value, and what you need to feel fulfilled. This self-knowledge is invaluable in navigating life's challenges and making decisions that align with your authentic self. As you continue to apply these principles, you may find yourself achieving a consistent alignment between your actions and your values. This congruence can bring a profound sense of peace and satisfaction. You'll likely find yourself saying no more often to things that don't serve your core purpose, freeing up time and energy for what truly matters to you. The ultimate outcome of this journey is living a life of purpose and fulfillment. When your daily actions and long-term goals are in harmony with your deepest values, you experience a sense of authenticity and meaning that permeates every aspect of your life. You're no longer just going through the motions or living up to others' expectations. You're actively creating a life that reflects your true self. Of course, this journey is not without its challenges. You may find it difficult to identify your true values, especially if you've spent years conforming to external expectations. In such cases, seeking feedback from trusted friends or family members can provide valuable insights. They may see patterns in your behavior or sources of joy in your life that you've overlooked. You might also encounter resistance when trying to let go of wants that you've long held onto. This is where the practice of gradual reduction comes in handy. Instead of attempting to eliminate all non-essential pursuits at once, try scaling back slowly. This gives you time to adjust and to fill the space with more meaningful activities. If you find yourself feeling overwhelmed by the process, remember that it's okay to take it one step at a time. Break the journey into manageable chunks. Start with identifying one core value and focus on aligning your actions with it for a week. Then, move on to the next. Over time, these small steps will add up to significant change. As we conclude this exploration of defining essentials, take a moment to reflect on what you've discovered about yourself. What values have emerged as central to your being? What needs do you recognize as truly essential for your fulfillment? How might your life change if you consistently prioritized these essentials? Remember, this is just the beginning of your journey towards a life of greater meaning and purpose. In the next chapter, we'll delve into a process that might seem contradictory at first glance, but is actually a powerful complement to defining your essentials. We'll explore how letting go can paradoxically lead to gaining more of what truly matters. Are you ready to discover the unexpected freedom that comes from embracing less? Chapter 3: Clearing Clutter. As we navigate the complexities of modern life, we often find ourselves surrounded by an ever-growing accumulation of things. These items, both physical and digital, silently fill our spaces and occupy our minds. But what if the key to a more fulfilling life lies not in acquiring more, but in thoughtfully reducing what we already have? The concept of clearing clutter might seem straightforward at first glance. You might envision a weekend spent sorting through old belongings or organizing a messy desk. While these activities are indeed part of the process, the true essence of clearing clutter runs much deeper. It's about creating space, not just in our physical environments, but in our minds and in our lives. Consider for a moment the last time you walked into a clean, organized room. How did it make you feel? There's often a sense of calm, a feeling of lightness that comes with being in a clutter-free space. This feeling isn't just a momentary pleasure, it can have profound effects on our overall well-being. The importance of clearing clutter extends far beyond mere tidiness. When we reduce the excess in our surroundings, we often find that our stress and anxiety levels decrease as well. There's a weight lifted from our shoulders, both literally and figuratively, as we shed unnecessary possessions and commitments. Moreover, a clutter-free environment can significantly boost our productivity and focus. When our spaces are organized, we spend less time searching for misplaced items or navigating through piles of unnecessary stuff. This efficiency translates into more time and mental energy for the tasks and activities that truly matter to us. But perhaps the most compelling reason to embark on this journey of clearing clutter is the enhancement of our overall well-being. As we create more space in our physical environments, we often find that we're creating more space in our lives for joy, creativity, and meaningful experiences. To truly understand the impact of clutter, we need to delve into its psychology. Clutter isn't just a physical phenomenon, it has a significant effect on our mental health. Research has shown that living in cluttered spaces can increase cortisol levels, the hormone associated with stress. This constant low-level stress can lead to feelings of anxiety, depression, and overwhelm. Furthermore, clutter can act as a visual reminder of unfinished tasks and unfulfilled goals. Each item in our space carries with it a small demand on our attention, even if we're not consciously aware of it. Over time, these demands accumulate, leading to mental fatigue and a decreased ability to focus on what's truly important. Another aspect of the psychology of clutter is our emotional attachment to possessions. Many of us hold on to items not for their practical use, but for the memories or feelings they evoke. While some sentimental items can bring joy and comfort, an overabundance of them can keep us tethered to the past, preventing us from fully embracing the present and future. Understanding these psychological aspects of clutter is crucial as we begin the process of decluttering. It helps us approach the task with empathy for ourselves, recognizing that letting go of possessions can be an emotional process. So, how do we begin the process of clearing clutter from our physical spaces? One effective approach is to tackle the task room by room. This method allows us to see tangible progress and prevents us from feeling overwhelmed by the entirety of our possessions. Start with a space that feels manageable, perhaps a small room or even a single drawer. As you go through each item, ask yourself, does this bring value to my life? Does it serve a purpose or bring me joy? If the answer is no, it might be time to let it go. Remember, the goal isn't to create a stark, empty space, but rather to curate an environment that reflects your values and supports your well-being. Some items might not have an obvious practical purpose, but still bring you genuine happiness. These are worth keeping. As you progress in your decluttering journey, consider implementing the one in, one out rule. For every new item you bring into your space, commit to removing one item. This simple practice can help prevent the reaccumulation of clutter over time. Our workspaces, whether at home or in an office, deserve special attention when it comes to decluttering. A cluttered workspace can significantly impact our productivity and job satisfaction. Start by clearing your desk of anything that isn't essential for your daily tasks. Create designated spaces for different categories of items, office supplies, documents, personal items, and stick to these designations. Consider the layout of your workspace as well. Is it conducive to focus and efficiency? Sometimes, simply rearranging furniture or adjusting lighting can transform a space from chaotic to calming. The goal is to create an environment that supports your work and minimizes distractions. Speaking of distractions, in today's digital age, clutter isn't just a physical phenomenon. Our digital spaces can become just as cluttered and overwhelming as our physical ones. Emails pile up in our inboxes, unused apps clutter our smartphones, and digital files accumulate on our computers. Start your digital decluttering process with your email inbox. Unsubscribe from newsletters you no longer read. Set up filters to automatically sort incoming mail, and aim for inbox zero, a state where your inbox is empty at the end of each day. While this might seem daunting at first, maintaining a clean inbox can significantly reduce digital stress and improve productivity. Next, turn your attention to your digital files. Create a logical folder structure and stick to it. Delete or archive files you no longer need. For files you're unsure about, consider moving them to a maybe folder that you can review periodically. Don't forget about your smartphone and other devices. Delete apps you no longer use, organize the remaining ones into folders, and turn off unnecessary notifications. These small changes can have a big impact on reducing digital distractions and improving your focus. Another crucial aspect of digital decluttering is managing your screen time and digital consumption. The constant influx of information from social media, news sites, and other digital platforms can be overwhelming. Set boundaries for your digital consumption, perhaps designating specific times for checking social media or limiting news consumption to certain hours of the day. Once you've made progress in decluttering your physical and digital spaces, the next challenge is maintaining this new, organized state. Establishing daily and weekly routines can be incredibly helpful in this regard. Spend a few minutes each day tidying up your space and sorting through any new items or digital inputs. Set aside time each week for a more thorough review and organization session. To prevent the reaccumulation of clutter, be mindful of what you bring into your space. Before making a purchase or accepting a free item, ask yourself if it truly adds value to your life. Practice the art of saying no, not just to physical items, but also to commitments and obligations that don't align with your priorities. To help you on your decluttering journey, consider creating a decluttering checklist. This can serve as a roadmap, guiding you through different areas of your home and life. Include both physical and digital spaces in your checklist, and break larger tasks into smaller, manageable steps. For those who thrive on challenges, consider embarking on a 30-day minimalism challenge. Each day, choose one area to declutter or one habit to simplify. This structured approach can help build momentum and make the decluttering process feel more achievable. As you progress on your journey of clearing clutter, you may find yourself experiencing a range of outcomes. At a basic level, you'll likely notice tidier living and workspaces. This alone can bring a sense of calm and order to your daily life. With continued effort, you may experience more significant benefits, such as improved focus and reduced stress. As your environment becomes more organized, you may find it easier to concentrate on tasks and feel less overwhelmed by your surroundings. The best possible outcome of this process is a fundamental lifestyle change leading to sustained minimalism. This doesn't mean living an austere life devoid of possessions, but rather cultivating a mindful approach to what you allow into your life. It's about creating space, physical, mental, and emotional, for what truly matters to you. Of course, the journey of clearing clutter is not without its challenges. Many people feel overwhelmed when they first start the process. The solution here is to start small. Choose one drawer, one shelf, or even one category of items to begin with. Celebrate these small victories. They'll give you the motivation to tackle larger areas. Another common challenge is the emotional difficulty of letting go of possessions. We often attach memories and emotions to physical items, making it hard to part with them. When you encounter this difficulty, try to recognize these attachments for what they are. Remember that the memories live in you, not in the object. Consider taking a photo of sentimental items before letting them go, or finding ways to honor the memory without keeping the physical item. Lastly, some people find themselves reverting to clutter after initial success. This is where the importance of maintenance routines comes in. Implement daily and weekly habits to keep clutter at bay. Remember, maintaining a clutter-free space is an ongoing process, not a one-time event. As we conclude this chapter on clearing clutter, take a moment to envision the space you want to create in your life. Imagine the sense of calm and focus that comes with a decluttered environment. Consider the time and energy you'll reclaim when you're no longer managing excess possessions or digital noise. Remember, the goal of clearing clutter isn't just about creating tidy spaces. It's about making room for what truly matters in your life. It's about reducing the noise, both physical and mental, so you can hear the whispers of your deepest aspirations and values. As you move forward on this journey, you might find yourself wondering about the next step. How can you take the principles of decluttering and apply them to an even more precious resource? In the next chapter, we'll explore a dimension of minimalism that goes beyond physical and digital spaces. We'll delve into a realm where the stakes are higher and the potential for transformation even greater. Are you ready to discover how the power of less can revolutionize your most valuable asset? Chapter 4: Simplifying Time. In our journey towards a life of greater meaning and purpose, we've explored the power of defining our essentials and clearing the clutter from our physical and digital spaces. Now, we turn our attention to a resource that's perhaps even more precious than any material possession: our time. Time is a curious thing. It's the great equalizer, given to each of us in equal measure every day. Yet, how often do we find ourselves lamenting that there simply isn't enough of it? We rush from one commitment to another, always feeling a step behind, never quite catching up. But what if the secret to having more time isn't about squeezing more activities into each day, but rather about simplifying how we approach time itself. The concept of simplifying time might seem paradoxical at first. After all, time marches on at its own steady pace, regardless of our wishes or actions. But when we talk about simplifying time, we're not trying to alter the fundamental nature of time itself. Instead, we're looking at how we can shift our relationship with time, how we can make more intentional choices about how we spend this precious resource. Think about your typical day. How much of it is spent on activities that truly align with your values and priorities? How much is consumed by tasks that feel urgent but don't actually contribute to your long-term goals or well-being? The art of simplifying time is about creating a harmony between how you spend your hours and what you've identified as truly essential in your life. The importance of this skill cannot be overstated. When we learn to simplify our time, we open the door to a host of benefits. First and foremost, it allows us to maximize our productivity and effectiveness. By focusing our energy on high-value activities, we can accomplish more of what truly matters, often in less time than we might expect. Moreover, simplifying time can significantly reduce the stress that comes from constant time pressure. When we're always racing against the clock, always feeling behind, it takes a toll on our mental and physical well-being. By simplifying our approach to time, we can create a sense of spaciousness in our days, reducing that frantic feeling of always being in a rush. Perhaps most importantly, simplifying time allows us to dedicate more of our precious hours to what truly matters in our lives. Whether that's spending quality time with loved ones, pursuing a passion project, or simply allowing ourselves moments of rest and reflection, having more time for these essential aspects of life can dramatically increase our overall satisfaction and sense of fulfillment. To truly grasp the concept of simplifying time, we need to shift our perspective and start viewing time as the valuable, finite resource that it is. Unlike money or material possessions, time is something we can never get back once it's spent. Each day, we're given 24 hours, no more, no less. How we choose to invest those hours can have a profound impact on the quality of our lives. Understanding the finite nature of time can be both sobering and liberating. It encourages us to be more intentional about how we spend our days, weeks, and years. It also highlights the opportunity cost of time wasted. Every minute spent on a low-value activity is a minute that could have been invested in something more meaningful or productive. With this perspective in mind, the next step in simplifying time is to identify the time wasters in our lives. These are the activities that drain our time without providing proportionate value or satisfaction. Common time wasters might include excessive social media use, aimless web surfing, or getting caught up in office gossip. But time wasters can also be more subtle, like attending meetings that don't require our presence or saying yes to commitments out of a sense of obligation rather than genuine interest or necessity. To get a clear picture of where your time is going, consider conducting a time audit. For a week or two, keep a detailed log of how you spend your time. Be honest with yourself. The goal isn't to judge, but to gather accurate information. At the end of this period, review your log. You might be surprised to discover how much time is being consumed by activities that don't align with your priorities or bring you joy. Once you've identified where your time is going, the next step is to start prioritizing high-value activities. One useful tool for this is the Eisenhower Matrix, named after President Dwight D. Eisenhower. This decision-making framework categorizes tasks based on their urgency and importance, helping you focus on what truly matters. The matrix divides tasks into 4 quadrants. 1. Urgent and important, tasks that need to be done immediately. 2. Important but not urgent, tasks that contribute to long-term goals and should be scheduled. 3. Urgent but not important, tasks that can be delegated. 4. Neither urgent nor important, tasks that can be eliminated. By categorizing your activities in this way, you can start to see which tasks deserve your immediate attention, which can be scheduled for later, which can be delegated to others, and which can be eliminated entirely. As you begin to prioritize your activities, you'll likely encounter one of the biggest challenges in simplifying time: learning to say no. Many of us have been conditioned to say yes to every request or opportunity that comes our way, fearing that saying no might disappoint others or cause us to miss out on something important. However, saying yes to everything means saying no to something else, often to the things that matter most to us. Learning to say no is about setting boundaries and being selective about how you invest your time. It's about recognizing that your time is valuable and limited, and that it's okay, even necessary, to protect it. Overcoming the fear of disappointing others can be challenging, but it's a crucial skill in simplifying time. Remember, when you say no to something that doesn't align with your priorities, you're saying yes to something that does. You're honoring your commitments to yourself and to what you've identified as truly important in your life. Setting boundaries with confidence takes practice. Start small, perhaps by declining a non-essential meeting or saying no to a social engagement that you're not excited about. As you become more comfortable with saying no, you'll likely find that people respect your boundaries, and you'll feel a sense of empowerment in taking control of your time. With a clearer sense of your priorities and the ability to say no to low-value commitments, you can start creating a more balanced schedule. This doesn't mean every minute of your day needs to be planned out. In fact, part of simplifying time is about creating space in your schedule, time for rest, for spontaneity, for dealing with unexpected events. When creating your schedule, aim for a balance between work, rest, and play. Remember that downtime isn't wasted time. It's essential for recharging your energy and maintaining your overall well-being. Schedule in time for activities that nurture your physical and mental health, like exercise, meditation, or hobbies you enjoy. There are various techniques you can employ for effective time management. The Pomodoro technique, for instance, involves working in focused 25-minute intervals followed by short breaks. Time blocking is another method where you dedicate specific blocks of time to certain types of tasks or activities. Experiment with different techniques to find what works best for you. The key is to find a system that helps you stay focused on high-value activities while also allowing for flexibility and balance in your day. To help you put these concepts into practice, consider engaging in a schedule optimization workshop. Set aside a few hours to review your current schedule and redesign it based on your priorities and the principles of simplifying time. Start by blocking out time for your most important activities, the ones that align closely with your goals and values. Then, see how you can fit in other necessary tasks around these core priorities. As you implement these strategies for simplifying time, you may start to notice some positive changes. At a basic level, you'll likely develop better time awareness. You'll have a clearer understanding of where your time is going and how it aligns or doesn't align with your priorities. With continued practice, you might experience a significant increase in productivity and satisfaction. You'll be spending more of your time on high-value activities, which can lead to greater progress towards your goals and a stronger sense of fulfillment in your daily life. The best possible outcome of simplifying time is achieving a kind of mastery over this precious resource. This doesn't mean controlling time itself, but rather developing such a harmonious relationship with time that you consistently feel a sense of balance and purpose in how you spend your days. Of course, the journey of simplifying time is not without its challenges. Many people struggle with the inability to say no, even when they recognize the importance of doing so. If you find yourself in this situation, remember that assertiveness is a skill that can be developed with practice. Start small and gradually build your confidence in setting boundaries. Another common pitfall is overscheduling. In our enthusiasm to make the most of every minute, we might pack our days so full that we leave no room for rest or unexpected events. The solution here is to be realistic in your planning and to deliberately schedule in buffer times. Remember, a simplified schedule isn't necessarily a packed schedule. It's one that allows you to focus on what's truly important while also maintaining balance and flexibility. Lastly, you might find yourself falling back into time-wasting habits. This is where the importance of regular reassessment comes in. Make it a habit to review your schedule and time use periodically. Are you still focusing on high-value activities? Have new time wasters crept in? By staying vigilant and making adjustments as needed, you can maintain your simplified approach to time. As we conclude this chapter on simplifying time, take a moment to imagine what your life might look like with a simplified approach to time. Picture yourself moving through your days with purpose and ease, focusing on what truly matters to you and feeling a sense of balance and fulfillment. Remember, simplifying time isn't about squeezing more activities into each day or becoming a productivity machine. It's about aligning how you spend your time with what you value most. It's about creating space in your life for what truly matters and letting go of the rest. As you move forward, you might find yourself wondering about the next frontier in your journey towards a life of greater meaning and purpose. We've explored the realms of physical space, digital clutter, and now time itself. But there's another dimension of our lives that holds immense potential for simplification and enrichment. In the next chapter, we'll delve into an area that touches the very core of our human experience. Are you ready to discover how the power of less can transform your connections with others and deepen your sense of belonging in the world? Chapter 5: Meaningful Relationships. As we journey through life, we weave a complex tapestry of connections with those around us. These connections, these relationships, form the very fabric of our human experience. But in our fast-paced, hyper-connected world, it's easy to find ourselves surrounded by a multitude of superficial interactions, leaving us paradoxically feeling more isolated than ever. What if the key to true fulfillment lies not in expanding our social circle, but in deepening the connections we already have? The concept of meaningful relationships might seem straightforward at first glance. We all have people in our lives we consider important: family, friends, colleagues. But when we talk about cultivating meaningful relationships, we're delving into something much more profound than simply maintaining a roster of contacts or accumulating followers on social media. Think about the last time you felt truly seen and understood by another person. Perhaps it was during a heartfelt conversation with a close friend or a moment of unexpected kindness from a colleague. These are the moments that form the building blocks of meaningful relationships. They're the connections that nourish our souls and provide a sense of belonging in an often chaotic world. The importance of fostering these deep, meaningful connections cannot be overstated. When we surround ourselves with supportive, positive relationships, we create a powerful buffer against the stresses and challenges of life. These connections enhance our emotional health, providing us with a network of support we can lean on in times of need. Moreover, meaningful relationships contribute significantly to our overall sense of fulfillment and happiness. They provide us with opportunities for growth, for shared experiences, and for the kind of deep, authentic interactions that make life rich and rewarding. But perhaps one of the most compelling reasons to focus on meaningful relationships is the role they play in reducing stress from toxic or draining connections. When we prioritize quality over quantity in our relationships, we naturally begin to distance ourselves from interactions that deplete our energy or negatively impact our well-being. To truly grasp the concept of meaningful relationships, we need to start by evaluating the connections we currently have in our lives. This process involves taking an honest look at our social circle and identifying which relationships are truly supportive and which might be toxic or draining. Supportive relationships are those that leave us feeling energized, understood, and valued. These are the connections where we feel comfortable being our authentic selves, where we can share our joys and our struggles without fear of judgment. Toxic relationships, on the other hand, are those that consistently leave us feeling drained, anxious, or inadequate. The impact of our relationships on our well-being is profound. Positive, supportive relationships have been linked to better mental and physical health, increased resilience in the face of stress, and even longer lifespans. Conversely, Toxic relationships can be a significant source of stress and can negatively impact our mental and physical health over time. As we begin to identify which relationships in our lives are truly supportive, we can then focus on deepening these connections. One powerful tool for building stronger, more meaningful relationships is the practice of active listening. This involves giving our full attention to the person we're interacting with, truly hearing not just their words, but the emotions and intentions behind them. Active listening means putting aside our own agenda and resisting the urge to formulate our response while the other person is still speaking. It means being fully present in the moment, offering our undivided attention. When we listen actively, we create a space where the other person feels truly heard and understood, which in turn deepens our connection with them. Another key aspect of deepening our relationships is showing appreciation and gratitude. Too often, we take our relationships for granted, assuming that the people in our lives know how much we value them. But explicitly expressing our appreciation can have a powerful impact on strengthening our bonds. This doesn't have to involve grand gestures. Simple acts of kindness, a heartfelt thank you, or taking the time to acknowledge something specific you appreciate about the other person can go a long way in nurturing your relationships. When we consistently show gratitude, we create a positive cycle of appreciation and connection. As we work on deepening our connections, it's equally important to learn the art of setting healthy boundaries. Boundaries are the invisible lines that define where we end and others begin. They help us maintain our sense of self within our relationships and ensure that our interactions remain respectful and mutually beneficial. Setting boundaries involves clearly communicating our needs, preferences, and limits to others. This might mean letting a friend know that you need advance notice before making plans, or informing a colleague that you're not available for work-related discussions outside of office hours. The key is to communicate these boundaries clearly and respectfully without apology or aggression. It's important to remember that setting boundaries is not about pushing people away or being selfish. On the contrary, clear boundaries actually allow for closer, more authentic relationships by ensuring that our interactions are based on mutual respect and understanding. Just as it's important to set our own boundaries, it's equally crucial to respect the boundaries of others. This involves being attentive to the verbal and nonverbal cues others give us about their comfort levels and preferences, and adjusting our behavior accordingly. As we focus on deepening our meaningful connections, we may find it necessary to minimize superficial interactions. In our hyper-connected world, it's easy to fall into the trap of maintaining a large number of shallow relationships at the expense of nurturing deeper, more meaningful ones. This might involve reducing obligatory social engagements, those events we attend out of a sense of duty rather than genuine desire. It could mean being more selective about the invitations we accept or the social media connections we maintain. The goal is not to become a hermit, but to create space in our lives for the relationships that truly matter. By focusing on quality over quantity in our relationships, we open ourselves up to richer, more fulfilling interactions. We create the opportunity for deeper conversations, for shared experiences that create lasting memories, and for the kind of authentic connection that nourishes our souls. As we cultivate our meaningful relationships, we naturally begin to build a supportive network around us. This network might be smaller than our previous social circle, but it will be made up of individuals who truly align with our values and contribute positively to our lives. Finding like-minded individuals can be a process of exploration and self-discovery. It might involve joining groups or communities centered around shared interests or values. It could mean being open to new connections while staying true to our authentic selves. The key is to seek out individuals who resonate with our core values and who inspire us to grow and evolve. Once we've identified these kindred spirits, the focus shifts to nurturing these relationships. This involves consistently investing time and energy into these connections. It means showing up for the people who matter to us, not just in times of celebration, but also in times of struggle. It's about creating shared experiences, offering support when needed, and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable and authentic in these relationships. To help you put these concepts into practice, consider engaging in a relationship assessment exercise. Take some time to reflect on your current relationships. Which ones leave you feeling energized and supported? Which ones consistently drain your energy? Are there relationships you'd like to deepen or new connections you'd like to cultivate? Another practical exercise is to focus on improving your communication skills. Practice active listening in your daily interactions. Pay attention to your body language and tone of voice. Experiment with expressing gratitude more openly and setting boundaries more clearly. Like any skill, effective communication improves with practice. As you implement these strategies for cultivating meaningful relationships, you may start to notice some positive changes. At a basic level, you'll likely develop a better understanding of your relationships and your own needs within them. You'll become more aware of the dynamics at play in your interactions and more intentional about how you engage with others. With continued practice, you might experience stronger, more meaningful connections with the people in your life. You'll likely find yourself having deeper conversations, feeling more authentically seen and understood, and experiencing a greater sense of support and belonging. The best possible outcome of this process is the development of a supportive network that truly enhances your life. Imagine being surrounded by individuals who inspire you, support you, and challenge you to grow. Picture yourself navigating life's ups and downs with a solid foundation of meaningful relationships to lean on. Of course, the journey of cultivating meaningful relationships is not without its challenges. You might encounter resistance from others as you begin to set boundaries or shift your focus to deeper connections. Some people in your life might be uncomfortable with these changes, especially if they're used to more superficial interactions. The solution here is to communicate openly and honestly. Explain your intentions and the positive changes you're trying to make in your life. Some relationships may naturally fade as you make these shifts, and that's okay. Remember that making space for meaningful connections sometimes means letting go of relationships that no longer serve you. Another common challenge is difficulty in setting boundaries, especially if you're not used to asserting your needs. If you find yourself struggling with this, consider seeking guidance from a trusted friend, a therapist, or a coach. Practice assertiveness in small ways and gradually build your confidence in setting and maintaining healthy boundaries. Lastly, as you become more selective about your relationships, you might initially experience feelings of isolation. This is a normal part of the process as you transition from a quantity-focused to a quality-focused approach to relationships. The solution is to proactively seek out positive relationships that align with your values. Join groups or communities centered around your interests, volunteer for causes you care about, or reach out to individuals you'd like to know better. As we conclude this chapter on meaningful relationships, take a moment to reflect on the connections in your life. Imagine the richness and depth that could come from nurturing your most important relationships. Picture yourself surrounded by a smaller but deeply supportive network of individuals who truly understand and value you. Remember, cultivating meaningful relationships isn't about accumulating a large number of connections or being the most popular person in the room. It's about creating space in your life for authentic, supportive relationships that bring you joy and help you grow. It's about quality over quantity, depth over breadth. As you move forward, you might find yourself wondering about the next step in your journey towards a life of greater meaning and purpose. We've explored the realms of physical space, time management, and now the landscape of our relationships. But there's another dimension of our lives that holds immense potential for simplification and enrichment. In the next chapter, we'll delve into an area that touches every aspect of our daily existence, influencing our choices, our stress levels, and our sense of freedom. Are you ready to discover how the power of less can transform your relationship with a resource that many find anxiety-inducing yet is crucial for building the life you truly desire? Chapter 6: Financial Simplicity. In our journey towards a life of greater meaning and purpose, we've explored the power of simplifying various aspects of our existence. We've decluttered our physical spaces, streamlined our use of time, and cultivated meaningful relationships. Now we turn our attention to an area that often causes significant stress and anxiety in many people's lives: our finances. Money is a topic that can evoke strong emotions. For some, it's a source of constant worry and frustration. For others, it's a measure of success or security. But what if we could transform our relationship with money into something simpler, more intentional, and ultimately more fulfilling? The concept of financial simplicity might seem counterintuitive at first. After all, isn't managing money inherently complex, with its myriad of accounts, investments, and financial products? But when we talk about financial simplicity, we're not suggesting that we ignore the complexities of modern finance. Rather, we're proposing a shift in how we approach our financial lives, a shift towards mindfulness, intentionality, and alignment with our core values. Think about your current relationship with money. Do you feel in control of your finances, or do they control you? Do your spending habits reflect what you truly value in life? Or do you often find yourself making purchases that don't bring lasting satisfaction? The art of financial simplicity is about creating a harmonious relationship between your money and your values, where your financial decisions consistently support the life you want to live. The importance of this skill cannot be overstated. When we simplify our financial lives, we open the door to a host of benefits. First and foremost, it can significantly reduce financial stress and anxiety. Money worries are a leading cause of stress for many people, impacting mental health, relationships, and overall well-being. By adopting a simpler, more intentional approach to finances, we can alleviate much of this stress. Moreover, financial simplicity can increase our sense of security and freedom. When we have a clear understanding of our financial situation and are making conscious choices about how we use our money, we're better equipped to handle unexpected expenses and pursue opportunities that align with our goals. Perhaps most importantly, simplifying our finances allows us to invest more of our resources, both money and mental energy, into what truly matters to us. Whether that's experiences that enrich our lives, causes we're passionate about, or creating a secure future for ourselves and our loved ones, financial simplicity gives us the clarity and means to prioritize what's truly important. To truly grasp the concept of financial simplicity, we need to start by understanding our financial values. This goes beyond simply knowing how much money we have or want to have. It's about deeply examining what role we want money to play in our lives and how we can use it as a tool to support our broader life goals and values. Consider what truly brings you joy and fulfillment in life. Is it traveling and experiencing new cultures? Is it having the freedom to pursue creative projects? Is it being able to support causes you care about? Your answers to these questions can help guide your financial decisions, ensuring that your spending aligns with your priorities. This alignment between spending and priorities is at the heart of financial simplicity. It's about being intentional with every dollar, ensuring that your financial choices are supporting the life you want to live rather than detracting from it. It's also crucial to understand the difference between wealth and richness. Wealth, in the traditional sense, is about accumulating money and assets. Richness, on the other hand, is about the quality of your life experiences. Financial simplicity aims to create richness, recognizing that beyond a certain point, more money doesn't necessarily equate to more happiness or fulfillment. With this understanding of our financial values, we can begin to create a mindful budget. This isn't about restricting ourselves or feeling deprived. Instead, it's about gaining clarity on where our money is going and ensuring that our spending reflects our values and priorities. The first step in creating a mindful budget is to track your income and expenses. This might seem tedious, but it's crucial for gaining a clear picture of your financial situation. For a month or two, record every penny that comes in and goes out. Be honest with yourself. The goal isn't to judge, but to gather accurate information. As you review your expenses, you'll likely start to identify areas where your spending doesn't align with your values or priorities. These are potential areas to cut back. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate all expenses that aren't absolute necessities, but to ensure that your spending is intentional and brings you genuine value or joy. One of the key aspects of financial simplicity is reducing unnecessary expenditures. This often involves curbing impulse purchases, those items we buy on a whim that often end up unused or unappreciated. One effective strategy is to implement a waiting period for non-essential purchases. If you see something you want to buy, wait for 24 hours or even a week before making the purchase. Often you'll find that the urge to buy passes, saving you money and reducing clutter in your life. Another area to examine closely is subscriptions and recurring costs. In our digital age, it's easy to accumulate subscriptions to various services without realizing how much they're costing us in total. Review all your recurring expenses and ask yourself if each one is truly adding value to your life, commensurate with its cost. As you reduce unnecessary expenses, you create more room in your budget to save for what truly matters to you. This is where setting financial goals comes into play. These goals should be aligned with your values and life aspirations. Perhaps you want to save for a significant travel experience, build an emergency fund for peace of mind, or work towards financial independence. When setting these goals, consider prioritizing experiences over possessions. Research has shown that experiences tend to bring more lasting happiness than material items. This doesn't mean never buying physical goods, but rather being intentional about which possessions truly enhance your life and bring you joy. One of the fundamental principles of financial simplicity is learning to live below your means. This doesn't mean living a life of deprivation or constant sacrifice. Instead, it's about finding contentment and even abundance within your current financial situation, while setting aside resources for future security and opportunities. Embracing frugality doesn't have to feel like a sacrifice. It can be empowering to find creative ways to enjoy life without overspending. This might involve discovering free or low-cost activities in your community, learning to appreciate simple pleasures, or finding fulfillment in experiences that don't come with a hefty price tag. Living below your means also allows you to build financial security and freedom over time. By consistently spending less than you earn and saving or investing the difference, you create a buffer against financial stress and open up more options for your future. To help you put these concepts into practice, consider engaging in some practical exercises. Start with an expense tracking worksheet. For a month, record every expense, no matter how small. Categorize these expenses and total them up at the end of the month. This exercise alone can be eye-opening, revealing spending patterns you might not have been aware of. Next, use this information to create a budget that aligns with your values and goals. Allocate your income across different categories, ensuring that you're prioritizing what's truly important to you. Remember, a budget is a living document. It should be reviewed and adjusted regularly as your circumstances and priorities evolve. As you implement these strategies for financial simplicity, you may start to notice some positive changes. At a basic level, you'll likely develop improved awareness of your spending habits. You'll have a clearer understanding of where your money is going and how it aligns or doesn't align with your values and goals. With continued practice, you might experience a significant reduction in unnecessary expenses. You'll be making more intentional choices about how you use your money, which can lead to a sense of control and empowerment in your financial life. The best possible outcome of financial simplicity is achieving a state of financial independence and peace of mind. This doesn't necessarily mean being wealthy in the traditional sense, but rather reaching a point where money is no longer a source of stress or anxiety in your life. It's about having enough to support the lifestyle you desire, while also feeling secure about your financial future. Of course, the journey towards financial simplicity is not without its challenges. Many people struggle with sticking to a budget, especially in the beginning. If you find yourself in this situation, remember that perfection isn't the goal. The key is to review and adjust your budget regularly, making it work for you rather than feeling constrained by it. Another common challenge is the temptation to overspend, especially when faced with clever marketing or social pressures. Implementing spending delays can be helpful here. Give yourself time to consider whether a purchase truly aligns with your values and goals before making it. You might also consider finding an accountability partner, someone who shares your financial values and can offer support and encouragement. Unexpected expenses can also throw a wrench in even the best-laid financial plans. This is where the importance of building an emergency fund comes in. By setting aside money for unforeseen circumstances, you create a buffer that can help you weather financial storms without derailing your long-term goals. As we conclude this chapter on financial simplicity, take a moment to envision what your life might look like with a simplified approach to finances. Imagine moving through your days without the weight of financial stress, making spending decisions that consistently align with your values, and feeling a sense of security and freedom in your financial life. Remember, financial simplicity isn't about depriving yourself or obsessing over every penny. It's about using money as a tool to create the life you truly want to live. It's about aligning your financial choices with your values and priorities, and finding contentment and even abundance within your means. As you move forward, you might find yourself wondering about the next step in your journey towards a life of greater meaning and purpose. We've explored the realms of physical space, time management, relationships, and now finances. But there's another dimension of our lives that holds immense potential for focus and achievement. In the next chapter, we'll delve into an area that can dramatically increase your impact and satisfaction in life. Are you ready to discover how the power of less can amplify your ability to achieve what truly matters to you? Chapter 7, Focused Goals. In our journey towards a life of greater meaning and purpose, we've explored various aspects of simplification and intentionality. We've decluttered our spaces, streamlined our time, nurtured meaningful relationships, and simplified our finances. Now, we turn our attention to a realm that often feels anything but simple: our ambitions and aspirations. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded with messages about what we should achieve, who we should be, and how much we should accomplish. It's easy to find ourselves caught in a whirlwind of goals and ambitions, each vying for our attention and energy. But what if the key to true achievement and fulfillment lies not in pursuing more goals, but in focusing on fewer, more meaningful ones? The concept of focused goals might seem counterintuitive at first. After all, aren't we often encouraged to dream big, to reach for the stars, to pursue multiple passions? But when we talk about focused goals, we're not suggesting that we limit our dreams or ambitions. Rather, we're proposing a shift in how we approach our aspirations, a shift towards clarity, intention, and deep commitment. Think about the goals you're currently pursuing. How many are there? How do they align with your core values and long-term vision for your life? Do you feel energized and excited about working towards them, or do you feel overwhelmed and scattered? The art of focused goals is about honing in on what truly matters to you, channeling your energy and resources into a select few objectives that will have the most significant impact on your life. The importance of this approach cannot be overstated. When we focus on a limited number of significant goals, we dramatically increase our likelihood of achieving them. It's simple mathematics. The more we divide our attention and resources, the less we have to devote to each individual pursuit. By concentrating our efforts on a few key objectives, we give ourselves the best chance of success. Moreover, this focused approach can significantly reduce stress and overwhelm. When we're juggling numerous goals, it's easy to feel like we're constantly falling short, never quite making the progress we desire in any area. This can lead to feelings of frustration and inadequacy. By narrowing our focus, we create space to breathe, to dive deep, and to truly engage with our chosen pursuits. Perhaps most importantly, focusing on a select few goals often leads to greater satisfaction and personal growth. When we commit fully to a goal, we open ourselves up to a depth of experience and learning that's simply not possible when our attention is divided. We allow ourselves the opportunity to master skills, to overcome significant challenges, and to experience the profound satisfaction that comes from meaningful achievement. To truly grasp the concept of focused goals, we need to understand the problem with pursuing too many objectives simultaneously. It's a trap many of us fall into. We have diverse interests, multiple areas we want to improve in our lives, and a fear of missing out on opportunities. So we set numerous goals, believing that more is better. However, this approach often leads to what's known as analysis paralysis. When faced with too many options or objectives, we can become overwhelmed to the point of inaction. We spend so much time trying to decide which goal to work on or how to balance our efforts that we end up making little progress on any front. Furthermore, pursuing too many goals simultaneously can lead to burnout. We stretch ourselves thin, constantly switching between different objectives, never allowing ourselves the time to recharge or fully engage with any single pursuit. This not only hampers our progress, but can also negatively impact our mental and physical well-being. Perhaps most critically, having too many goals dilutes our effort and impact. When we spread our resources, time, energy, focus across numerous objectives, we reduce the amount we can invest in each one. This often results in mediocre progress across the board, rather than significant advancement in key areas. So how do we begin to focus our goals? The first step is to identify what's truly important to us. This involves a process of self-reflection and prioritization. Start by listing out all your current goals and aspirations. Then, ask yourself some probing questions. Which of these goals align most closely with my core values? Which would have the most significant positive impact on my life if achieved? Which excite and energize me the most? As you go through this process, you might find it helpful to use the SMART framework for goal setting. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. This framework helps ensure that your goals are clear and reachable rather than vague aspirations. For example, instead of setting a goal to get in shape, a SMART goal might be to run a 5K race in under 30 minutes within the next 6 months. This goal is specific, running a 5K, measurable, under 30 minutes, achievable with consistent training, relevant, assuming physical fitness is important to you, and time-bound within 6 months. As you refine your goals using this framework, also consider how they align with your personal values and long-term vision for your life. The most powerful goals are those that resonate deeply with who you are and who you want to become. Once you've identified your most important goals, the next step is to create an action plan for each one. This involves breaking your goals down into manageable steps. Large goals can often feel overwhelming, but when broken down into smaller, actionable tasks, they become much more approachable. For each goal, identify the key milestones you'll need to reach along the way. Then, break these milestones down into specific actions you can take on a daily or weekly basis. This not only makes your goals feel more achievable, but also provides a clear roadmap for what you need to do next. As you create this action plan, it's also important to set deadlines for your milestones. These deadlines create a sense of urgency and help keep you accountable. However, be realistic in your timeline. Setting overly ambitious deadlines can lead to frustration and burnout, while deadlines that are too far in the future can reduce motivation. With your goals identified and your action plan in place, the next challenge is maintaining focus and motivation over time. It's easy to feel excited and committed at the beginning of a new goal, but sustaining that energy over weeks, months, or even years can be challenging. One effective technique for maintaining focus is to create an environment that supports your goals. This might involve setting up your physical space in a way that minimizes distractions, using tools or apps that help you track your progress, or surrounding yourself with people who support and encourage your aspirations. Celebrating small wins along the way is another crucial strategy for maintaining motivation. Don't wait until you've achieved your final goal to acknowledge your progress. Recognize and celebrate each milestone you reach, no matter how small. This not only boosts your motivation, but also helps reinforce the behaviors and actions that are leading to your success. It's also important to remember that goals aren't set in stone. As you progress on your journey, you may need to adjust your goals or your approach to achieving them. Life circumstances change, new information comes to light, and our own values and priorities can shift over time. Being flexible and adaptable with your goals doesn't mean you're giving up or lacking commitment. Instead, it shows wisdom and self-awareness. Regularly take time to reflect on your progress and the relevance of your goals. Are they still aligned with your values and vision for your life? Are they still exciting and motivating to you? If not, don't be afraid to make changes. To help you put these concepts into practice, consider engaging in some practical exercises. A goal prioritization worksheet can be a valuable tool for identifying your most important objectives. List out all your current goals, then rate each one based on factors like alignment with your values, potential impact on your life, and level of excitement you feel about pursuing it. This can help you narrow down your focus to the goals that truly matter most. Another helpful practice is to implement weekly goal review sessions. Set aside time each week to review your progress, celebrate your wins, and plan your actions for the coming week. This regular check-in helps keep your goals at the forefront of your mind and allows you to make adjustments as needed. As you implement these strategies for focused goals, you may start to notice some positive changes. At a basic level, you'll likely develop a clearer focus on your most important objectives. You'll have a better understanding of what you're working towards and why it matters to you. With continued practice, you might find yourself achieving significant milestones more frequently. By concentrating your efforts on a few key goals, you're able to make more substantial progress than when your attention was divided among numerous objectives. The best possible outcome of this approach is the realization of your major life aspirations. When you focus your energy and resources on what truly matters most to you, you give yourself the best chance of achieving those big, transformative goals that can significantly impact the course of your life. Of course, the journey of pursuing focused goals is not without its challenges. Many people struggle with losing motivation over time, especially when facing obstacles or setbacks. If you find yourself in this situation, try reconnecting with your purpose. Remind yourself why you set this goal in the first place. Visualize how achieving it will positively impact your life. Sometimes, simply reconnecting with your why can reignite your motivation. Another common challenge is allowing distractions to derail your progress. In our hyper-connected world, distractions are constant and pervasive. Implementing focus strategies can help. This might involve using time-blocking techniques, creating a dedicated workspace, or using apps that limit access to distracting websites or social media during your work sessions. Lastly, you might find yourself falling back into the habit of overcommitting. It's easy to get excited about new opportunities or ideas and want to pursue them all. This is where the importance of regular reassessment comes in. Make it a habit to review your commitments periodically. Are they all still aligned with your focus goals? If not, it might be time to let some of them go. As we conclude this chapter on focused goals, take a moment to envision what your life might look like with this approach. Imagine the sense of clarity and purpose that comes from knowing exactly what you're working towards. Picture the satisfaction of making significant progress on your most important objectives rather than inching forward on numerous fronts. Remember, the art of focused goals isn't about limiting your ambitions or dreams. It's about channeling your energy and resources in a way that allows you to achieve what truly matters most to you. It's about creating a life of intention and purpose, where your daily actions consistently move you towards your most meaningful aspirations. As you move forward, you might find yourself wondering about the next step in your journey towards a life of greater meaning and purpose. We've explored the power of focus in achieving our goals, but there's another dimension to this journey that holds the key to true fulfillment. In the next chapter, we'll delve into a concept that might seem paradoxical at first, but has the potential to unlock unprecedented levels of personal freedom and satisfaction. Are you ready to discover how letting go can lead to gaining more than you ever imagined possible? Chapter 8: Embracing Freedom. As we journey through life, we often find ourselves bound by invisible chains. These chains aren't physical, but they're just as restrictive, perhaps even more so. They're the expectations we feel we must meet, the obligations we believe we can't escape, the constant pressure to conform to societal norms. But what if there was a way to break free from these constraints? What if true freedom was within our grasp, waiting for us to reach out and claim it? The concept of freedom is one that resonates deeply with most of us. We yearn for it, dream of it, fight for it. But often the freedom we seek is external. Freedom to do what we want, go where we please, live as we choose. While these are certainly aspects of freedom, there's a deeper, more profound freedom that we often overlook. The freedom to be our authentic selves, unburdened by the weight of others' expectations and our own self-imposed limitations. This is the freedom that minimalism offers. But before we delve deeper into this idea, let's take a moment to consider what minimalism really means in this context. It's not just about decluttering your physical space or living with fewer possessions, although these can be part of it. At its core, minimalism is a mindset, a way of approaching life that prioritizes what's truly important and lets go of the rest. The importance of embracing this kind of freedom cannot be overstated. When we live authentically, aligned with our true values and desires, we open ourselves up to a level of satisfaction and fulfillment that's simply not possible when we're constantly trying to meet external expectations. We reduce the stress that comes from trying to be someone we're not, or achieve things that don't truly matter to us. Moreover, embracing this freedom enhances our overall life satisfaction. When we're no longer expending energy on maintaining a facade or meeting arbitrary societal standards, we have more resources, time, energy, mental space to devote to what truly brings us joy and fulfillment. But to truly embrace this freedom, we first need to recognize and let go of the societal expectations that bind us. These expectations are often so ingrained that we may not even be aware of their influence on our choices and behaviors. They can manifest in various ways: the pressure to follow a certain career path, to own a home by a certain age, to have a specific type of relationship or family structure, or to constantly upgrade our possessions to keep up with the latest trends. Take a moment to reflect on your own life. Are there areas where you feel pressure to conform to certain expectations? Are there choices you've made not because they align with your values, but because they're what you think you should do? Recognizing these external pressures is the first step towards freedom. The next step is to start defining success on your own terms. This involves a deep exploration of your values and what truly matters to you. Success might mean financial wealth for some, while for others, it could be about having rich experiences or making a positive impact on the world. There's no universal definition of success. What matters is that your definition aligns with your authentic self. As we begin to shed societal expectations and forge our own path, we often encounter two significant obstacles: fear and guilt. The fear of missing out, commonly known as FOMO, can be particularly challenging. We worry that by choosing our own path, we might be missing out on experiences or opportunities that others deem important. But here's a liberating truth: it's impossible to do and be everything. By choosing to focus on what truly matters to us, we're not missing out, we're prioritizing. We're choosing to fully engage with the experiences and opportunities that align with our authentic selves, rather than spreading ourselves thin trying to do it all. Guilt is another common hurdle, particularly when it comes to saying no to obligations or expectations that don't align with our values. We may feel we're letting others down or not living up to our responsibilities. But remember, by saying no to what doesn't serve us, we're saying yes to what does. We're creating space in our lives for what truly matters. Living authentically is at the heart of embracing freedom. This means aligning our actions with our beliefs and values, even when it's challenging or goes against the grain. It means having the courage to be ourselves, to pursue our unique path, even if it looks different from what others expect. This journey towards authenticity often involves a process of self-discovery. We may need to peel back layers of conditioning and expectation to uncover our true selves. This can be uncomfortable at times, but it's also incredibly liberating. As we become more authentic, we often find that our relationships deepen, our work becomes more fulfilling, and we experience a greater sense of peace and contentment. Of course, choosing to live authentically and embrace freedom can sometimes invite criticism or judgment from others. People may not understand our choices or may feel threatened by our decision to break from conventional norms. Learning to handle this criticism is an important part of the journey. Remember, other people's opinions of your choices are often more about them than about you. They may be projecting their own fears, insecurities, or unexamined beliefs onto your situation. Responding to naysayers doesn't mean you need to justify your choices or convince them of your path. Often, the most powerful response is to continue living authentically and let your life speak for itself. Building resilience and confidence is crucial in facing criticism and staying true to your path. This involves developing a strong sense of self and a deep conviction in your values and choices. It means learning to trust your own judgment and intuition, even when it goes against popular opinion. As we embrace freedom through minimalism, we often experience a profound sense of liberation. The simplicity that comes from focusing on what truly matters creates space, not just in our physical environments, but in our minds and in our lives. We find ourselves with more time, more energy, and more mental clarity to pursue what's truly important to us. Take a moment to visualize your minimalist future. Imagine waking up each day with a clear sense of purpose, free from the burden of unnecessary obligations or the pressure to meet others' expectations. Picture yourself engaged in work that aligns with your values, surrounded by relationships that nourish your soul, living in an environment that reflects your authentic self. This is the freedom that minimalism offers. To help you on this journey towards freedom, there are several practical exercises you can engage in. Mindfulness and self-reflection practices can be particularly powerful. Set aside time each day for quiet reflection. This might involve meditation, journaling, or simply sitting in silence and tuning into your thoughts and feelings. Use this time to check in with yourself, to ensure your actions are aligning with your values, and to reconnect with your authentic self. Affirmations can also be a useful tool for reinforcing your commitment to authentic living. Create statements that reflect the freedom you're embracing and the authentic life you're creating. Repeat these to yourself regularly, especially when you're facing challenges or feeling pressure to conform. As you implement these practices and embrace the freedom that minimalism offers, you may start to notice some positive changes. At a basic level, you'll likely experience reduced stress from external expectations. You'll feel less pressure to meet arbitrary standards or to live up to others' ideas of success. With continued practice, you might find yourself experiencing increased confidence and authenticity. As you become more comfortable living according to your own values and standards, you'll likely feel more self-assured and at peace with your choices. The best possible outcome of this journey is living a life of true freedom and fulfillment. This doesn't mean a life free from challenges or difficulties, but rather a life where you're fully aligned with your authentic self, where your choices and actions consistently reflect your true values and desires. Of course, the path to freedom is not without its obstacles. Many people struggle with the fear of rejection as they begin to live more authentically. If you find yourself grappling with this fear, consider seeking out or building a supportive community. Surround yourself with people who understand and support your journey, who encourage you to be your authentic self. Another common challenge is relapsing into old patterns, especially when faced with stress or pressure. This is where the importance of regular self-assessment comes in. Make it a habit to check in with yourself regularly. Are your choices still aligning with your values? Are you staying true to your authentic self? If you find yourself slipping back into old habits, gently guide yourself back to your chosen path. Lastly, you might encounter internal doubts as you embrace this new way of living. Our inner critic can be loud, questioning our choices and undermining our confidence. The solution here is to practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a good friend. Remember that embracing freedom and living authentically is a journey, not a destination. It's okay to make mistakes or have moments of doubt along the way. As we conclude this chapter on embracing freedom, take a moment to reflect on what freedom means to you. Imagine the sense of liberation that comes from living authentically, free from the weight of unnecessary expectations and obligations. Picture the clarity and purpose that arise when you align your life with your true values and desires. Remember, embracing freedom through minimalism isn't about depriving yourself or living an austere life. It's about creating space for what truly matters, about living with intention and purpose. It's about having the courage to be your authentic self in a world that often pressures us to conform. As you move forward, you might find yourself wondering about the final piece of the puzzle in your journey towards a life of greater meaning and purpose. We've explored the power of embracing freedom, but there's one more crucial step that can tie everything together and truly transform your life. In the next chapter, we'll delve into a practice that has the potential to revolutionize not just how you live, but how you experience every moment of your existence. Are you ready to discover the ultimate key to living a life that truly matters? Chapter 9, Intentional Living. As we reach the final chapter of our journey, we stand at the threshold of a transformative realization. Throughout this book, we've explored various aspects of minimalism and simplification, from decluttering our physical spaces to focusing our goals and embracing freedom. But now, we're about to tie all these threads together into a tapestry of intentional living that has the power to revolutionize your entire existence. Intentional living is more than just a concept or a set of practices. It's a way of being that infuses every moment of your life with purpose and meaning. It's about making conscious choices that align with your deepest values and aspirations, rather than drifting through life on autopilot or being pulled along by external forces. Think back to all you've learned throughout this book. Each chapter has provided you with tools and insights that, when applied, can dramatically shift your life experience. But the true power lies not in applying these principles in isolation, but in integrating them into a cohesive approach to living. By embracing minimalism in your physical space, you've created room for what truly matters. By simplifying your time management, you've reclaimed precious hours to invest in your priorities. Through cultivating meaningful relationships, you've enriched your social world. By adopting financial simplicity, you've reduced stress and aligned your resources with your values. Focusing your goals has sharpened your direction, and embracing freedom has liberated you from unnecessary constraints. Now imagine harnessing all of these elements together. This is the essence of intentional living. It's about creating a life where every aspect, your environment, your time, your relationships, your finances, your goals, and your personal freedom all work in harmony to support your authentic self and your deepest aspirations. This holistic approach to minimalism and intentional living empowers you in profound ways. You gain a level of control over your life that may have seemed impossible before. No longer are you at the mercy of clutter, time pressures, financial stress, or the expectations of others. Instead, you're in the driver's seat, making conscious choices about how you want to live and what you want to prioritize. Moreover, this approach brings unprecedented clarity and purpose to your life. When all aspects of your existence are aligned with your core values, you experience a sense of coherence and direction that can be truly transformative. You wake up each day with a clear understanding of what matters most to you and how you want to invest your energy and resources. One of the most beautiful outcomes of intentional living is the impact it has on your relationships. As you become more authentic and purposeful in your own life, you naturally foster deeper connections with others. You have more time and energy to invest in the relationships that truly matter to you. You're more present and engaged in your interactions, leading to more meaningful and satisfying connections. Furthermore, as you embrace intentional living, you'll likely find yourself attracting and building a community of like-minded individuals. These are people who resonate with your values and support your journey. This supportive community can be a powerful source of encouragement, inspiration, and growth as you continue on your path of intentional living. With this integrated approach to minimalism and intentional living, you'll find yourself able to achieve things that might have seemed out of reach before. Personal and professional goals that once felt overwhelming become more attainable as you focus your energy and resources more effectively. You'll likely find yourself making progress more quickly and with less struggle, as your entire life is now aligned to support your aspirations. But perhaps even more importantly than external achievements, you'll experience a deeper sense of fulfillment and joy in your daily life. When you're living in alignment with your true self and your core values, even ordinary moments can be infused with a sense of purpose and satisfaction. You'll find joy not just in reaching your goals, but in the journey itself. As you continue to practice the concepts outlined in this book, you'll likely notice that your results improve with less and less effort over time. This is because you're developing habits that support ongoing growth and experiencing compounding benefits. Each positive choice reinforces the next, creating an upward spiral of intentional living. For example, as you maintain a clutter-free environment, you'll find it easier to focus on your priorities. As you focus on your priorities, you'll make better use of your time. As you use your time more effectively, you'll have more energy for your relationships. As your relationships deepen, you'll feel more supported in pursuing your goals. Each aspect of intentional living supports and enhances the others, creating a synergistic effect that amplifies your results. To fully integrate these minimalist principles into your life, it's helpful to develop daily practices that support your intentional living. This might include a morning routine that sets a positive tone for the day, regular decluttering sessions to maintain your simplified space, or daily reflection to ensure your actions align with your values. Mindfulness and presence are particularly powerful practices to cultivate. By staying present in each moment and making conscious choices, you reinforce your commitment to intentional living. This doesn't mean you need to overthink every decision, but rather that you develop an awareness that allows you to act in alignment with your values and goals. Of course, the path of intentional living is not without its challenges. You may encounter resistance from others who don't understand your choices. You might face moments of doubt or temptation to fall back into old patterns. It's important to anticipate these obstacles and have strategies in place to overcome them. Remember that intentional living is a journey, not a destination. There will be ups and downs, moments of clarity and moments of confusion. The key is to stay committed to your path, to regularly reassess and realign as needed, and to be gentle with yourself as you grow and evolve. As you embrace intentional living, you may find that you naturally inspire others through your actions. People around you may notice the positive changes in your life, your increased sense of peace, your clearer sense of purpose, your more authentic relationships, and become curious about your approach. This is an opportunity to lead by example and to share the principles of minimalism and intentional living with your community. Now, as we come to the end of this book, it's time for a call to action. The principles and practices we've explored have the power to transform your life, but only if you put them into action. Start today. Choose one area of your life to bring more intentionality to. Perhaps it's decluttering a space in your home, reassessing your commitments to focus on what truly matters, or having a heartfelt conversation with a loved one. Commit to a life that truly matters. This doesn't mean a life of grandiose achievements or constant excitement. Rather, it means a life that's true to you, that reflects your deepest values and aspirations. It means a life where you're fully present for the moments that matter, where you're investing your precious time and energy in what truly brings you joy and fulfillment. As you step forward into this life of intentional living, know that you're embarking on a journey of profound transformation. You're not just changing what you do, but how you experience every moment of your existence. You're creating a life of clarity, purpose, and deep satisfaction. Remember, the power of less isn't about deprivation or restriction. It's about making room for what truly matters. It's about clearing away the noise and clutter, both external and internal, so that you can hear the whispers of your heart and follow the path that's uniquely yours. In embracing intentional living, you're not just improving your life, you're revolutionizing it. You're choosing to live deliberately, to be the author of your own story rather than a passive character swept along by circumstances. You're choosing to create a life that reflects your truest self and your deepest values. This is the ultimate payoff of the journey we've undertaken together. It's a life of authenticity, purpose, and profound fulfillment. It's a life where every day is an expression of what matters most to you. It's a life rich in meaning, joy, and genuine connection. As you close this book and step into your new life of intentional living, know that you carry within you the power to create a life that truly matters. You have the tools, the knowledge, and the inspiration. Now, it's time to take that first step. Your intentional life awaits. Embrace it with open arms and an open heart. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Take that step today and watch as your life transforms into one of purpose, joy, and deep fulfillment. However, as you embark on this path of intentional living, you may encounter unexpected resistance, not just from external sources, but from within your own mind. There's a hidden force at play, shaping your thoughts and behaviors in ways you might not even realize. What if the very society we live in has programmed us to remain financially constrained? The truth may surprise you. To truly unlock your potential and make the most of the principles you've learned, there's one more crucial step. Discover how to break free from these invisible chains in the audiobook Reprogram Your Mind: How Society Gets You Addicted to Remain Poor. Tap the center of the video now to continue your transformation journey.